Are you ready to unlock growth, build resilience, and confidently take the next step in leadership, career, and faith? Welcome to The Next Move. I'm Orvin Kimbrough, a CEO, author, and leader with a passion for helping people and organizations thrive. My journey from foster care to CEO has fueled my mission to help professionals scale their confidence, leadership, and influence through mindset shifts, expanded networks, and bold action. Each week, I'll share reflections ripped straight from my blog to inspire and empower you with actionable insights. Let's get started and make your next move your best move. Welcome back to The Next Move, the podcast where we explore faith, leadership, and personal growth to help you take your next step with purpose and confidence. I'm your host, Orvin Kimbrough. Let me paint a picture for you. You're sitting still, finally alone, and you let out a deep breath, the kind of breath that feels like a release. And then it hits you. You've been holding that breath for years of pressure, years of silence, years of survival. That's what this episode is about. Not the moment you conquer the mountain, but the moment you finally stop pretending, the moment healing begins, the moment you let air in. I know that moment well because I've lived it. I grew up facing every kind of abuse, emotional, physical, and sexual. I also grew up believing I was slower than others, not as smart. I scored a 15 on the ACT, fell below the average on standardized tests, struggled to keep up, wasn't the quickest on my feet, and for years I carried the weight of all of it alone. I told myself that silence was my strength, that if I didn't talk about it, maybe it would just go away. But pain doesn't disappear in the dark. It grows. That's why today's conversation matters, because you don't have to carry what was never yours to carry alone. We all carry something. Some of us carry trauma, others carry pressure, fear, the need to be perfect, or just to keep it all together. And sometimes we carry silence, and we call it strength. But silence can be deceiving. It can feel like control while quietly keeping us stuck. That brings me back to a moment that changed everything. I was around 17 years old, sitting on a bench at Barrett Brother Park after a long day, staring at the grass like it could give me answers. I wasn't crying. I wasn't talking. I just sat with the weight of everything I'd been through: trauma, shame, confusion, the physical, the sexual, the emotional abuse. And I had learned to carry pain like it was normal, like it was mine to bear. But here's what I've learned since then. You can't heal what you won't reveal. You can't thrive holding what you were never meant to carry alone. And when I finally started telling the truth, when I spoke it out loud, something shifted. The weight didn't disappear overnight, but I wasn't carrying it alone anymore. And then something even more powerful happened. People around me started opening up, sharing their own pain, naming their own wounds, giving themselves permission to heal. Folks, healing needs air. Think about a wound on your skin. If you keep it covered too long, guess what? It stays raw. It festers. It doesn't get better. But the moment you let it breathe, healing begins. The same is true for the wounds of the soul. When we let air in, we release the weight that's been silently crushing us. We move from surviving to thriving. We build stronger, deeper relationships at home, at work, and in faith. And we make room. We make room for clarity, for purpose and growth. And Jesus doesn't leave us. Jesus doesn't leave us out there alone. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Did you catch that? Not come to me when you have it all figured out, but come to me with your weariness. Come to me with your truth. Come to me with your heaviness. Let air in. Let God in. That's where healing begins. So why does this matter in leadership? Let's talk about it. Because maybe you're thinking, I can't afford to open up. People depend on me. I need to be the strong one. But I want you to hear this clearly. People don't follow perfection. Guess what? They follow authenticity. A few years ago, I was involved in a deal at the bank that didn't go the way we hoped. It went sour quickly. In a tense meeting with members of the board, I owned it. I didn't deflect. I didn't sugarcoat. I took responsibility. And then someone on my team, someone at the table said something that stuck with me. He said, Orv, it wasn't just you. This is shared ownership. Because when you lead with honesty, you create space for others to do the same. You give them permission to show up. You give them permission to step up. You give them permission to take ownership too. And scripture affirms this. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. That means we don't need to lead from our mask. We can lead from our truth. That's leadership. That's strength. That's, my friend, is grace in motion. Now, there is a cost of silence. Here's something most leaders don't talk about. Workplace trauma affects nearly 70% of employees, and it's a silent driver of burnout. It's a silent driver of disengagement. It's a silent driver of turnover, especially in leadership. Too many people are performing instead of being. Did you hear me? Too many people are performing instead of simply being, pretending instead of healing, trying to look okay while quietly unraveling. But when you let air in, when you create a space for honesty, both in yourself and on your team, everything changes. Performance gets better. People connect more deeply, and trust, my friends, becomes real. Let it go. Let air in. So I want to ask you something right now, wherever you are. What are you carrying that you were never meant to carry alone? Be honest. Is it fear? Is it shame? Is it the pressure to keep performing? What would happen if you just let a little air in. James 5:16 says, confess your faults to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. Healing happens in community. Healing happens in truth. Healing happens in vulnerability. Healing, my friends, happen in faith. So here's your next move. Speak it out loud, whatever it is, even just a piece of it. Write it down because words have power. Share it with someone safe. Share it with a mentor. Share it with a counselor. Share it with a faith leader. Share it with a friend. Let air in. Let God in. Begin to breathe again. Thank you for tuning in to The Next Move. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone else because you never know who else is holding their breath, just waiting for permission to let go. Until next time, keep leading with heart and let air in. Thank you for tuning in to The Next Move. I hope today's reflection inspired you to take the next step in your leadership, career, or faith journey. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need a little encouragement this week. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like more reflections or resources, visit orvinkimbrough.com or theaccidentalbanker.com. Until next time, remember, every step you take brings you closer to thriving. Let's keep moving forward together.